Okay, I'm showing you what this turkey looks like, the turkey legs. They just fell right off the bone. They've been in the crock pot for several hours. And also over here are the bones, and I'm going to save them and freeze them for a time when I want to make bone broth, turkey bone broth. So that's what's happened with that. And outside the meat, you'll see little pieces of what's actually broccoli flowerets. So you've got vegetables in there and a little onion and meat, and that makes a good dinner. And then I left a lot of the broth over here in the crock pot and put those pork bones inside to stew. And right now they're still cold because they were in the refrigerator, so it's going to be in there for many hours, but it's not going to have to be overnight or anything. Get a better view right now. It did have some gel, which I was really happy about that. The gel is what contains the most of the nutrients in there, and I definitely saved the gel and added it back into the rest of the liquid, and everything's ready to continue on. Okay, so what I did with the food was I took out the pork bones, separated them all out, and then the rest of the stuff went through this colander into another container underneath it, and that left me with vegetables like the onions and broccoli florets, as well as some cauliflower that I threw in that was already chopped up. So I had that all together, separated from the broth, and that's why the broth is, if you want to call it broth, it's still settling, and some pieces probably got through the holes in here because I didn't do it through cheesecloth, which I could still do that. And when I do, or if I do, maybe it'll be clear looking. So let's give that a try next. All right, cheesecloth is in there. I've never worked with cheesecloth before, so I don't know how this is going to work out. Okay, it's going through the holes, settling down. If you have any ideas on how to make it clear, please respond, let me know. Pork broth. I don't have a decent, I have pens but to write on the labels, but they don't work on these like they do on paper because there's something like a vinyl type of surface, and had a hard time finding a pen. I ended up using a charcoal pen, but it does kind of come off like chalk. So that's going to take time, I think, to settle through. Folks, since I don't know if you're supposed to use 1 or 2 layers of cheesecloth, you really don't get a whole lot of change, although I did take out some of the thickness in there, but it reduced the amount of liquid, and it's still warm. I'm just waiting for it to cool off so I can, before I use it. For all that work I did, maybe this is just so concentrated that I can add water to it later, but I'm trying to figure out what the best technique is on making it in the crock pot method instead of, well, like for about 3 or 4 hours instead of overnight for 40 hours. But it's still got to have a lot of nutrition in it. Certainly does. And I hope that this helped you and that you found it interesting. And I love your comments. Thank you for watching. Nicole Lee, Health, Beauty, and More.